Washington. He's got it. Throw it up first. He did it.
0-1 to Pools. In the air, left field, and Pools has given St. Louis the lead. A dramatic, towering three.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Stretches. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of B.S.ing Sports here on the B.S.ing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. This is our Saturday baseball show, so of course that means that with me, as always, is my boy Ryan. What is up, Ryan?
Fresh back from the Fantasy Football Expo with some extra hardware. Cornhole Tournament Champions, that's right. Shout out to my man Cody, a.k.a. Goaty, for doing a lot of the work there. You know, I just had to play damage control, and he kind of took care of the rest. So, excellent time. Had a blast. Check out Jake and I's podcast last week. We talked about it a little bit more. Yeah. I'm ready to talk baseball, though.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's do it. So if you guys have been following along the last 2 months, we've been doing the Immaculate Grid to start our shows on Saturdays, which is great. We're just going to jump right back into it. I won last time. I'm 10-4 on the year. Ryan is 4-10 on the year. So he gets to go first as per our rules. Ryan, just give him the lay of the land here.
Only reason you won is because I wasn't there, Timmy. I've seen you play cornhole.
It's not
the
good.
Same league, brother. Not in the same league. So, yeah, Immaculate Grid coming up. I will bring mine to the stage first. So, just to go over the rules of Immaculate Grid, is a 3x3 grid with 6 categories. Top to bottom on the left side is 200 hits in a season batting, Rookie of the Year award, played third base minimum one game. Across the top, left to right, you've got 100-run season batting, 30 stolen bases, 300 average season batting. And the idea is that you get a rarity score with each grid based on the times that player was guessed amongst the entire community. Lowest rarity score wins. My first guess, center cut, far right, 300 average for season Rookie of the Year. We'll go Scott Rowland for 0.7%.
It's a good start. Before I get to my grid, I know that we were doing a giveaway before the All-Star break. We did finally get to do that. Unfortunately, Ryan and I hadn't been able to link up since the All-Star break. Congratulations to Brad Pascarella for winning the Ellie De La Cruz card. He also got a legitimate, like the Topps 2024 Series 1 Ellie De La Cruz rookie card and a Future Stars of the Game rookie card for Ellie De La Cruz. So congratulations to Brad Pascarella. Hopefully he'll be posting something on Twitter later today.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be doing more giveaways as the playoffs approach, as the NFL regular season comes on. We will definitely be doing more card giveaways, so keep an eye out for that. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at BSing_sports if you have not done so already. Also, subscribe to YouTube because that's how you enter to win.
Correct. Please go to YouTube. Please subscribe. We appreciate it. All right, so now I'm going to get to my grid here. Let's see. Rookie of the Year. I'm going to struggle with that whole category. 100 runs, 200 hits. I'm going to go Dick Allen.
Not a bad pull there, sir.
For 0.06%. Yeah, 0.06%.
Very nice. 100-run season Rookie of the Year. I am going to go Ryan Howard for 1%.
Okay. Right now we've got 3 squares filled out and 3 Phillies. That's pretty solid.
Yep, good start. That'd be something if we did a challenge to try and keep the whole thing Phillies.
Oof. Well, you've already taken Ryan Howard and Scott Rowland, so that would be tough. Yeah. David Wright played third base, 300 season, 2%.
2%. Okay, not bad. 100-run season, 200 hits. Mr. Craig Biggio for 0.9%.
Okay.
Timmy says, I see another one that could be a Philly with some peeping eyes. I see a couple that could be Phillies.
Yeah, it could be, but like
Ryan
No.
came to play today. Damn right I did. Tired of like basically giving over these Saturday grids to him and then whooping up on him every other day of the week. Got to come out strong here. Played third
Honus
base.
Wagner bags and played third base.
Good pull. I'll counter that. Ty Cobb for 0.7.
Ryan, you're on your way to a perfect grid, brother.
We'll see. We'll see. There's some tough ones here. I shouldn't say there's some tough ones. There's some tough ones to keep low.
2% rows, bottom left.
100 run season. All right. Third base, 100 run season. This one will probably cost me. A-Rod, 9%. Yep, there it is.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That whole center is gonna. 0.1% on Dante Bichette, 30 bags and 200 hits.
Very nice pull. Very nice pull, sir. 30 stolen bases, rookie of the year. Ichiro for 12%. Bill is in trouble.
Bill is in trouble.
Bill is in big trouble. By the way, what an awesome game.
Average. Right? Yeah, this is a good one. This is a real good one. As soon as I saw the grid, I said I'm going to struggle with the center.
Yep, and I got the whole thing filled out. So played third base, 300 average for the season. God, who do I want to use for that one?
Kind of wish these ads would stop.
Come here, Michael Young, for 0.4%. Bill's feeling it now.
A little bit, yeah. Jason Bay for 0.6%.
There you go. Good pull.
I'm running out of names.
Eddie Collins for 30 stolen bases, 200 hits. 0.5%.
Oh, God.
Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? Can you feel it?
That's turn to square. 2% on Corbin Carroll, 100 run season, rookie of the year.
There you go.
I don't shit for this center one in.
300 average, 200 hits in a season. Carl Yaz did not have 200 hits in a season. That is a wild, wild guess. Man, who would have thought?
Oh,
that gives Bill the win.
All right, rookies of the year. Jeter, don't know if he stole 30 bags. Braun definitely did it. That was a great grid, dude.
Yeah, it was. Fantastic.
With a total rarity score of 14.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. Thank you. I like being 11-4 now. I do. I really do.
Timmy says, I have a middle guy. All right. Who is it?
Who was your middle guy, Tim?
Acuna was obviously the one I was trying to avoid.
No, he was going to say Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Which, yes, that would fit, yes.
Yeah,
so the most commons from left to right, up to down, is Ichiro, Tony Gwynn, then Judge Acuna, obviously that fit, Jeter, and then Schmidt, A-Rod, and George Brett. Those were the most common answers. The square that most people missed on was the center bottom, which, again, A-Rod was the most common on that one. I took Honus Wagner. I think Paul Molitor fits that square, but I'm not sure.
Yes, he does.
Well, there you go. And then Ryan obviously took Ty Cobb for 0.6% or whatever it was. So great pull for him on that one. All right, we are going to move on to Pickle. Pickle. Here's our Pickle grid. Do we want to pick for us, or do we want to use yesterday's person, even though I forget who it was?
Let's just roll the dice and select someone randomly. Rafael Devers.
So it's either the other two AL divisions or the NL East. So let's pick somebody in the NL East that bats left, throws right. Bryce Harper.
Whoa. Do not do that. Let's analyze the age here for a second. Bats left, throws right, and is young. How about we do Brandon Marsh?
I was going to say Bryson Stott, but Brandon Marsh is good too. Left, right, NL East. Nope. So it'll be the AL. 26 years old, born in the U.S.
All right. Not a problem. AL Central. I'm thinking White Sox. Robert's a righty. Vaughn's a righty. Could very well be a pitcher, which nowadays, since none of them hit at all, it's really tough to know which hand they bat.
Oh, never mind. Born in Canada.
And lefty. Let's see. Might as well guess it, though. Let's get the team.
Okay.
Let's even see if we're in the right division.
Right, the AL Central.
Okay. It's not Cleveland. Tanner Beebe was going to be my next guess.
Twins. Royals.
Max Kepler.
Tigers.
No, Kepler's way older than that.
You have a Crochet.
Crochet's a lefty.
Mm.
Might as well guess them, see if we're getting the team right.
See, we already know that we're not very good at the AL Central. Like, we're just not good with the AL Central at all, man.
All right, Royals, go Bobby Witt. Let's narrow down the team at least.
All right. So, Twins. Give me a Twins pitcher.
Max Kepler. Might as well shoot from hip.
So, it's Tiger.
Yep.
Spencer
Riley Green.
Too young.
Yeah.
Spencer Torkelson.
Throws right-handed.
Yes, he does.
Jung. Type in Jung. What is that guy's name?
Jace Jung?
Yeah, but he's too young.
He's too young, yeah.
Also, hold on, wait a second. It's the right fielder. I didn't even realize we got that part right.
Oh, okay. Right fielder for the Detroit Tigers.
Detroit Tigers. Justin Verlander. I'm just kidding.
The fuck is the right fielder for the Tigers?
Is it Matt Vierling by chance?
No. Vierling's playing third for them. And he's too old. Yeah, too old.
Oh, what about what's his name? Kerry Carpenter.
Yep, that seems to fit. Attaboy.
8th time's the charm.
So your
baby.
pickle winner is yeah, no kidding. That's actually the longest it's ever taken us. Kerry Carpenter is your pickle player of the day, team. Getting out of that.
Ooh. Time for a standings review.
Standings review.
And we're going to go a little bit more in depth because, as the title of the show says, it is the dog days of August, which means things are coming down to the wire.
Indeed. So we will share screen. Join this clown car, boys. All right, starting in the AL East. No, let's do the West, and then we'll finish with the NL East because obviously that's the one we got the most talked about. So AL West, you have the Astros leading the way at 65 and 56 after the trade deadline, and the Mariners added Randy Arozarena, a bat that we had been talking about. The Mariners are 63 and 60. However, they are 4 and 6 in their last 10. The Astros being 8 and 2 in their last 10. You know, got to win games, right? Defending World Series champions Texas Rangers are 11 games below 500 at 56 and 67. The Los Angeles Angels, who just keep taking hits, 53 and 69. And the Oakland Athletics, soon to be the Sacramento Athletics, rounding out that division at 52 and 70. Let's discuss the Astros and Mariners real quick. Do you think the Mariners catch the Astros? I know they're only 2 games back. Do you think they have a shot at the division?
Yeah, I mean, the addition of Arozarena's hitting over 300 with an OPS north of 900 since he got there. So he has been like super impactful for that team, a team that desperately needed a bat, either left or right-handed. I think that was a great acquisition for them, and they didn't really give up a ton to get him, as we talked about during our trade deadline episode. Mm-hmm. I think the Astros experience has kind of catapulted them into first place. However, I am curious, if they're slightly aging core, because we think about them as like having been around a long time, but a lot of these guys, like, they're still in their late 20s, early 30s, so they have some ball left in them. I don't know, man. This is tough. I would love to root for like the Seattle Mariners because they're a bit of an underdog here, and Houston's obviously had a great stretch in that division. But I would assume experience is going to go out on top here, and at this point, I lean the Astros. Again, not really where I want to go, not really what I foresaw happening, especially with the way that season started and their pitching was just downright awful. But I'm going to lean Astros. I think it's going to be a couple games, so I think this division comes down to the wire.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also leaning Astros because of exactly what you said. Experience usually wins out. Young teams find ways to give the bag away, and I think the Mariners are going to end up doing that. So yeah, I too have the Astros winning that division there. Moving down to the NL West. Ryan said he'd be back, so I guess I'll just continue. Oh, he left and everything. He rolled out. Ryan just left me all alone. That's fine. Not a big deal. NL West, you have the Los Angeles Dodgers leading the way at 72 and 51. The surging Arizona Diamondbacks at 69 and 54. The surging San Diego Padres at 69 and 54. The San Francisco Giants at 62 and 62, playing 500 ball there. They are 10.5 games back on the division leading Dodgers. And then the Colorado Rockies are very, very bad at 45 and 78. They are not as bad as the White Sox, but they are not a good team. I was going to ask Ryan if he thought the Diamondbacks or the Padres had a shot to usurp the Los Angeles Dodgers, but since he's not here, I'll just do it myself. there's obviously always a shot. The Dodgers are kind of not scuffling. They're still playing above 500 ball every 10 games. But you're talking the Padres and the Diamondbacks are both 8-2 in their last 10. I mean, it's that division is another one that I think is going to come down a little bit to the wire. The run differential is a big difference here. The Dodgers obviously having a plus 103 run differential, the Diamondbacks having plus 76, and the Padres are plus 66. So I don't think the Diamondbacks or the Padres are going to catch the Dodgers. But it is obviously a possibility. I still think the division is the Dodgers. You must be muted, buddy. You are muted.
Go back to AL West for a second.
AL West. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we got to talk about the Texas Rangers here, right? World Series team. What happened?
Well, they made the playoffs as the last wild card spot last year and got hot in the postseason. I mean, it happens. Teams do it.
Yeah, and, getting hot at the right time. Do you think there's any time for them to make a playoff run?
Let's see. What's that? 100?
11 and a half back of the wild card spot, 10 back of the division.
What do you got? 38 games left? I mean, if you get real hot, yeah. But
yeah, they'd have to win.
You're 11 games under 500, and you only got 38 to play. I can't do math. That's not right. 48 to play.
They'd have to go like 28-10 in their next 38 games to make that. And as you can see by just the runs allowed number, the pitching has been abysmal this year. They've only allowed, what is that, like 13 less runs than the Oakland Athletics this year. So, yeah, the pitching is obviously a large portion to blame. Health for this team's been an issue. I know they've had multiple players spend some time. Jung, the third baseman's missed a lot of time. Wyatt Langford was on the shelf for a while. I think Jonah Heim was hurt as well. Obviously, DeGrom missed some time. Injuries, poor pitching, you name it. Unfortunate to see, but hey, at least they got their World Series title.
Ken Brandt, I see your comment here, or your question here. Who makes the wild cards for the AL? We're going to do that once we're done breaking down the entire conference, and then we'll tell you who we think makes the playoffs. And obviously, we'll adjust this week to week because things change every week. But we'll get to that. Thank you for popping that question into the chat there, bud. But yeah, like I said, I mean, last year they made the playoffs as the last playoff team to make to clinch a spot in the playoffs, and then they just got hot. I mean, you see it from time to time. It happens. Endo Storio, right? Back to the NL West, I brought the question up to myself. Do I think the Diamondbacks or the Padres could possibly catch the Dodgers? What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, the Arizona Diamondbacks are scorching hot right now. I mean, they're getting hot almost a little too early, right? If you've ever watched the Fast and Furious movies, how they go and hit the NOS and then they're like, too soon, Junior. I feel like that's kind of how it is with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Getting hot in late July, beginning of August is nice to make that push. Go ahead and get yourself, up there with the San Diego Padres. However, I feel like with how much of a run they are on, right, 8-2 in their last 10, and I mean they're just hitting the crap out of the baseball. Yeah. I don't think it's sustainable going into the playoffs. I think they probably end up with one of the wild card spots, a little bit of a, push, a little bit of a hint there. But I just don't know that the pace they're on right now is sustainable. Could they sustain it? Probably. But do I think they do? No.
I like it. Going back to the AL Central, moving up to the AL Central, you have the Cleveland. That was English. All of that was English. None of that was gibberish. You have the Cleveland Guardians at 72-50. You've got the Minnesota Twins at 69-53. The Kansas City Royals hanging on there, 67-55. The Detroit Tigers at 59-64. And then, I mean, we don't even got to talk about that team. The Chicago White Sox have 93 losses already this year, man. That is a lot of losses.
They're historically bad. Like, it's incredible how historically bad they are.
It's like tough to look at the record as a baseball fan and be like, man, how are people watching this team play ball? Like,
Joey says the A's will make it. Thanks for tuning in, Joey, but no, they won't.
Maybe once they're in Sacramento, Joey.
Yeah, they will make it to their couches to catch first pitch of the wild card round. That's where they will make it.
Correct. Yeah. So the same question, right? You got the Twins 3 games back, the Royals 5 games back on the Guardians. Do you think either of those two teams, particularly the Twins, obviously because they're closer, catch the Guardians?
Let's talk about this division for a second. Did you envision August 17th we'd be talking about 3 teams like well over 500 in the AL Central?
No, we predicted it would be a close to 500 team that made the playoffs out of this division.
Yeah,
And I think we decided on the Twins.
Yeah, this and the Astros we got terribly wrong. Like we screwed that one up bad. But nonetheless, this is not just a show about owning our failures in predictions. But I mean, the Royals, right? When you talk about the Royals, you got to talk about Bobby Witt and how he is an AL MVP, candidate for sure. Him, Aaron Judge, can't not mention Gunnar Henderson, and of course Jose Ramirez as well. Man, I'm not confident that the Guardians come out on top in this division because the Minnesota Twins have been playing better baseball as late. The Royals pitching all year has overachieved for the most part. And, of course, their one-man offense. But, man, I do think the Guardians are still the most well-rounded team, right? Tanner Beebe has filled in excellently for Shane Bieber since he is out for the season and parts of next season with Tommy John surgery. They pitch well. They have timely hitting, right? I just mentioned Jose Ramirez as an AL MVP candidate. So I think that they do enough collectively as a team. Stephen Kwan, the Naylor brothers, they've got enough up there where they're the top dogs in the AL Central. But I think the Royals have a better chance of catching them than the Twins do.
I was going to say, with this is one of the closest divisions, like broken down, drawn out, right? Like, so obviously you have divisions like the Orioles and Yankees are playing back and forth with each other all year long. But this is like a 3-team sprint here towards the end of the gate. I also think the Royals could catch the Guardians. I don't think it'll be the Twins. You're talking, a run differential of 90 plus, or plus 90 rather, for the Royals. Same thing that you just said about the Guardians timely hitting. The Royals are doing the same thing, and as you pointed out already, their pitching, it has been phenomenal this year to the extent of which we haven't seen in years from the Royals. So I also think it'll be the Royals. This is one of those divisions this is one of the 2 divisions that I think the person who's not in first place right now will be in first place by the end of the season.
Okay, that's interesting. You just don't think the Guardians have enough juice to get to the end there at top?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Guardians just don't have enough juice to hold on to the top spot.
Okay. I think they're
a playoff team. We'll get into it, but I think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to hold the top spot.
Yeah, this has been one of the better divisions in all of baseball for the entirety of the season, right? It's not like one of the divisions we're going to talk about a little bit later in the NL East, where there's kind of been a steady leader throughout most of the season. But yeah, this division's been exciting. Very surprisingly exciting. Can't emphasize that enough because we didn't see this coming, as we just talked about.
All right, moving on to the NL Central, we got the Brewers at 70-52, the Reds at 60-62, the Cardinals at 60-62, the Cubs at 60-63, and then the Pirates at 57-64. Pirates are 1-9 in their last 10 games. Just a week and a half ago, we were talking about how they were a game and a half back on a wild card spot, and now they're not.
I think that was a couple weeks ago.
Either way.
Yeah. But yeah, and surprisingly, not surprisingly competitive, right? We all figured those teams would kind of be right around each other. Again, the Brewers are surprising me, though, especially with Yelich going on the shelf. He's out for the rest of the season. The Cincinnati Reds, if you look at that run differential, I can't understand how this team is not 500. Plus 49 run differential. They've pitched pretty well all year. They've had some issues as far as consistency with hitting, but to be 60-62 with almost plus 50 run differential at this point in the season is a head scratcher.
That's a young team that's going to be better as the years come on. Like, they're a really young team. Obviously, we know about Ellie De La Cruz. You've got Encarnacion Strand, like Jonathan Indy. Like, the team is young, so they're going to be good for years to come. Spencer, or not Spencer, the pitcher. Oh my goodness! You know who I'm talking about.
I mean, they have Hunter Green,
Lodolo.
Yeah, Nick Lodolo, Andrew Abbott. They've all pitched very well this season. The issue has just been non-timely hitting, I guess. and a lack of consistency, right? This is a division where I think the Brewers continue to hold the top spot. Yeah. I mean, if the Brewers collapse this division, that would be, similar to 2007 Mets level. But if you look at that number right there, teams above or equal to 500 for the Reds probably has a little bit of an explanation as to why they're below 500. 24-37. They just can't beat good teams.
It looks like that whole division,
which is par for the course for young teams. Young teams in any sport, they struggle to beat those top tier teams, but they'll get around.
Yeah, looks like that whole division struggles to beat teams above 500.
Yeah, and the Brewers should coast. But, I mean, Yelich going into the playoffs, that's a huge loss for them. Yelich was having a bounce-back season.
AL East. Like I said already, the Yankees and the Orioles at the top of this division. 73-50 are the Yankees. 72-51 are the Orioles. Red Sox hanging in there. 8 games back on the Yankees at 64-57. The Rays just a game under 500 at 60-61. And the Blue Jays, who still a head-scratcher with all the young talent on that team, 57-65 are the Blue Jays.
They called up Billy Wagner's son.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is their draft strategy just pick, sons of guys who are in the MLB? We got to get it right at some point.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, the obviously glaring question, way too early predictions for this division. Who do not thank you, Jacob Krogan. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page, please.
Yeah, subscribers win free stuff. How cool is that?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins the division?
Man,
I go back and forth like week to week, man.
I'm still going to say the Orioles. Like you said, I feel like every time we jump on here, there's a new division leader. And the Yankees, given how bad they were hitting the baseball outside of Judge and Soto for like quite a stretch there, I'm very surprised that the Orioles did not gain any ground on them. But the Orioles have had some issues of their own, a little bit on the mound, holding leads. That's why they went out and got Zach Eflin, which was a good pickup for them. By the way, he just won the other day against another former Philly and Nick Pivetta. But I don't know, man. Like, this is just such a coin flip. I thought for sure that the Orioles had this division in our preseason predictions when the over-under we talked about for the Yankees was 93.5. And with Garrett Cole being out as long as he was, we both kind of laughed at that and was like under. But the rest of the pitching staff started out fantastic. And, they've kind of leveled out since then.
Luis Gil came out of left field and has been phenomenal for the Yankees.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to say the Orioles just because I like them more than I like the Yankees. So that might be, my more irrational side. So that's where I'm going, man. I'm going to show my irrationality a little bit and pick the Baltimore Orioles to win the division simply because I want them to.
Listen, I want the Orioles to do it as well. But for everything you just pointed out, how bad the Yankees started, except for Judge and Soto, I got to take the Yankees here because the rest of the team is starting to heat up a little bit. Rizzo's average is climbing. DJ LeMahieu's average is climbing. Luis Gil and Garrett Cole and Cortez leading that pitching staff there. I don't want it, but I think the Yankees win this division. Again, still way too early predictions, but I think it's the Yankees.
Okay. Let's talk about the Red Sox here for a second because the Red Sox pitching was like unbelievable the first 3 months of the season. I think both Cutter Crawford and Tanner Houck had ERAs sub 2 at one point. Now they're both over 3, and I think it's Cutter Crawford. They've folded like an origami crane, the both of them. However, on the flip side, their offense just rakes. I mean, they're hitting the ball all over the place, which is crazy because that's not an offense that you would have predicted coming into the season would hit the ball the way that they have. But the emergence of Jared Duran, who got suspended 2 games the other day, won't get into that too much. But Tristan Casas has missed a lot of the year. Rafael Devers, I was shocked to look up and see that Rafael Devers was only 27 years old. I feel like that dude's been in the majors for 10 years.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
Him and Salvador Perez, I feel like, started playing baseball in 1950.
I mean, Salvi definitely feels that way. Dude's been in the league forever.
Yeah, he's been through a whole rebuild with the Royals, a World Series title, a rebuild, and now they're back on the up and up, and he's still with the team.
Dedication, man. Love the game. You keep playing. Love the game.
Yeah, and he's had some of his better years. He just hit 46 home runs. What was it, 2 years ago? Last year?
2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he hit 38 last year, but still, he's still raking.
Yeah, and he's still playing a lot of games behind the plate, too. He's not moving to first base like a lot of catchers do toward the end of their career.
Correct, yeah.
But, yeah, the Red Sox have been a huge surprise for me this year. 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. How do you feel about the Red Sox? Do you think they have enough of what it takes to go ahead and get a wild card spot?
No, and here's why. Because of the Royals and Twins. Royals, Twins, Guardians. So I think 3 teams out of that division get to the playoffs. And as a result, that would, because the other one will be coming out of the AL East, it keeps the Red Sox off the board.
Yeah, that's a real race right there, man. The wild card race in the AL is crazy. I don't know, man. I do think I trust the Royals a little bit more right now just because they're pitching better on a more consistent level. I'd probably lean them over the Boston Red Sox, but man, that's going to be close. We'll really see what Bobby Witt's made of coming down the stretch because, again, the Royals don't hit the ball very well collectively as a team. So outside of him and Salvi.
Yeah, so because I think 3 teams out of the Central get in, and obviously 2 teams out of the East get in, I think unfortunately for the Red Sox, regardless of how well they're playing, they won't make it. On the flip side of that, it's going to mean that the Astros or the Mariners need to win that division to get to the postseason as well.
Yeah, I think the AL West is probably the most crucial one right now, just for that reason, because this AL wildcard race is just full of dogs right now, and it's nice that we're going to potentially see a lot of fresh blood here in the playoffs.
It'll be nice to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, playoff baseball, nothing like it.
Moving down to the last division, the division that we love and hate the most, the NL East. You have the Phillies at 72-50, the Atlanta Braves at 64-58, 8 games back. The New York Mets 63-59. They kind of surged there for a little bit, 9 games back. The Washington Nationals 55-68, and then the lowly Miami Marlins at 45-77. Yeah, Philly scuffle coming out of the All-Star break.
Marlins are being saved by the Chicago White Sox.
Man.
Yeah, the Marlins season isn't being.
The Rockies are bad too.
Yeah, well, the Rockies are just the Rockies. Does Chris Bryant still on the Rockies, right?
Chris Bryant is still on the Rockies, yes.
That guy moved on from Chicago, and I don't think I've heard of him ever again.
One of the World Series Cubs roster just vanished after they left the Cubs.
Went from one of the weirdest, most obvious collusive cases of trying to hold him back from Super 2 arbitration of eligibility because he was that good to I couldn't even tell you what team he's on anymore. Obviously, I know that it's the Rockies, but just the general fan, what team who is Chris Bryant? Is he even in the league anymore? I don't know. Yeah, he's been abysmal since he left Chicago. It's been a real shame. But back to the NL East. Yeah, Marlins it's pathetic. It's bad. Saved by the COVID season. That's the only year they've made the playoffs in the last quite a few, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they made the playoffs last year.
Did they? Oh yeah, wildcard team. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Saved by the extension of the playoff format. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Which I'm not against. I like the way that the MLB has the playoff format. I'm not hating on it now, but I think that was an outlier season. This is probably a little more par for the course right here.
Yeah, I would side with that. So coming out of the All-Star break, obviously, I mean, it was all over MLB. The Phillies are scuffling 7-16 coming out of the All-Star break. Fortunately for them, the Braves and Mets scuffled even worse and didn't gain too much ground here. Again, still 8 games back are the Braves, 9 games back are the Mets. Hopefully, the last couple of days have been an indication that the Phillies are ready to get back on the right track. But winning against the Nationals and Marlins isn't exactly saying too much. But it is a division rival, so
gotta beat who's across from you, right? That's how you get in the playoffs.
That's true.
I think as a fan base, right, there was a lot of overreaction during that really cold period, right? And I made a statement on Twitter, kind of went under the radar a little bit. I said they got cold at the right time.
Yeah.
Because you can't be hot all season, right? It's not the 0-1 Mariners, and look what happened to them anyway. But getting cold at the right time is important. I would rather they start to get hot now, mid-August, running into September, running into the playoffs, than for example, the Minnesota Twins or, a team that's getting hot at the wrong time per se. You don't expect that momentum to carry. It's just too far out to expect that to carry. I would have rather they got their struggles out of the way. Pitching ERA was over 5 at the time. It was terrible. They were not a good baseball team. But that goes to show you, that stretch right there shows you how good they were for a majority of the season, in the sense that it was never even a thought that they were going to blow this division.
Correct.
And they're only a half game back behind the Yankees for best record in baseball.
That is correct. Yes.
So every good team goes through bad stretches. That's exactly what happened with the Phillies. There's no need to really overreact about it.
Ebbs and flows. We've been saying it for 2 weeks now. Ebbs and flows of a season. I 100% agree with you. Getting cold at the right time is just as important as getting hot at the right time. So hopefully they're in kind of a stagnant period where they stay consistent, and then they get hot going into the postseason, and we bring that trophy home.
And as bad as the whole team was bad, which is why I'm kind of surprised they won any games at all. The pitching ERA was over 5, and guys like Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh, they might as well just go up there without a bat. Like just don't even come up to the plate with a bat. You guys are terrible. And I said it to the group, and Timmy kind of let me have it a little bit. Bryson Stott is not a good hitter of the baseball. He's not.
He's not. No, he's not. I was on my way to my other job when you guys were in that argument, and I was like, I can see it, and I want to chime in, but I got to go to work.
Yeah, and Brandon Marsh at this point is who we thought he was. He was really hot when we first acquired him last year, but he just wasn't a good hitter with the Angels. That's why they weren't afraid to let him go. He obviously has a lot of development he needs to do. I'm not saying that these guys can't be good hitters in their career, right? They're both only 26 years old, still have many games left to play ahead of them. But right now, neither one of them are good hitters. They're not polished. They are liabilities at the plate. And the Phillies, what are you going to do? You got to run them out there every day. Got to let them take their beatings.
Yeah, I believe the Austin Hayes addition at the trade deadline was a good one. Unfortunately, he's been injured and hasn't been able to play. But I do believe very, very much that was an excellent trade for the Philadelphia Phillies,
especially against left-handed pitching, where he's hitting over 300 and has an OPS over 900.
Correct. It's Ken Brandt. Thanks for dropping in the comments here. The other night or last night, 2 nights ago, it was last night. Weston Wilson hits for the cycle.
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. I thought it was in. It's not. It wasn't in the City Connect. It was in the Powders.
It was. Yeah, it was. They won 3-2 last night. Remember, Esteves blew the save, got the win.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So Weston Wilson on Thursday night hits for the cycle, the 10th in Phillies history. So congratulations to Weston Wilson for that amazing feat.
Be an insane trivia question in about 10 years.
Who hit the last cycle for the Philadelphia Phillies?
Yeah. Name the most obscure Philly to hit for the cycle.
David Bell.
I don't think David Bell's more obscure than Weston Wilson.
Weston Wilson. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, David Bell had a few good years as a starter here. Weston Wilson's like 30 years old, just getting like his second real call up.
That's fair. That's a good point.
All right. One more thing to the agenda here today. We've got the 3 strikes trivia question. I don't have a foul tip question prepared, though, so you better get this one right. And I do feel like it is kind of easy. Nice little warm-up question coming back. So for those of you listening, the 3 strikes trivia question, I am going to ask Bill a trivia question. He gets a guess. If he gets it wrong, I get him a hint. He gets a guess. If he gets that wrong, I give him another hint, and then he gets a third guess. And if he doesn't get it by the third guess, 3 strikes, you are out. So here is the question. If you know the answer, please hold off in the comments. 2 pitchers have multiple Cy Young awards, multiple World Series titles, multiple All-Star games, and multiple no-hitters. One is Sandy Koufax. Name the other.
Roger Clemens.
You're right. Not a bad guess, though. This individual, this is the hints will probably lead you more towards who it is as we get deeper into them. This individual never led the league in wins, but did lead the league in losses one time. I'll specify the league. He led the NL in losses one time.
Multiple Cy Youngs and multiple World Series titles.
I'll make this hint even better. He led the NL in losses on a year where his team won the World Series.
If you're in the chat here, please keep your guesses held for the current moment. Was that answer right?
Yes, it was. And I specified that before we started. Don't give the answer away in the chat.
It's funny because he wasn't the next person I was going to, but he was in fact where I was going for my last guess. So Tim Lincecum. My next guess was going to be a bit older, and I was going to say Bob Gibson, but obviously that's incorrect. But yeah, Tim Lincecum.
Then my next hint would have been he played 9 years in the NL, 1 year in the AL.
Okay, yeah, which would have given me Tim Lincecum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan, for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for the views, and it's all good. It's all good. No worries. Bill says he was going to get it. He claims he was going to pick Tim Lincecum. Yeah, okay, sure.
I told you he wasn't my next guess. My next guess was Bob Gibson.
Little bit of fun fact. So Tim Lincecum in 2012 led the NL in losses with 15 and had a 5.18 ERA. But a little bit about Tim Lincecum's career: 110 wins, 89 losses in 10 seasons, a 3.74 ERA, 10 complete games, 7 shutouts, 1,600 innings, an ERA plus of 104, and he had 1,700 strikeouts. Won the Cy Young in his second and third season, got top 10 votes the other 2 years. This was a guy for like 4 years, like really dominated baseball, and then just nothing. He was like a better version of Matt Harvey, just like nothing after the first like couple years. Like people talk about Tim Lincecum, should he be in the Hall of Fame? No, absolutely not. I think his 4-year run should be remembered in history as one of the better 4-year runs in baseball. But when you talk about Hall of Fame guys, I need like 8, 9, 10-year runs.
I would say at least a decade of that performance get you in the Hall of Fame. Sure,
yeah. I think I look at Roy Halladay as like the standard, and he was arguably, or maybe not arguably, the best pitcher in baseball for like 10 years. So that's pretty Hall of Fame qualifying to me. But yes, Mr. Tim Lincecum wins it. If you have not done already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Football season's right around the corner, so there will be more content flying out of here. I know the boys just rallied for a meeting today talking about their sports betting episode. I cannot wait for that to come back. That's going to be exciting. Jake and the fellas over there, we'll still be talking baseball throughout the season. And of course, we're going to be on Twitter more actively helping you guys with your start-sit questions. We've got DFS coming. We've got everything coming. A lot of content coming down. So go ahead and subscribe on YouTube so that way you guys don't miss it at all.
Yeah, football is a lot easier to create content for.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But we've got one more thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for us here on B.S.ing Sports, part of the B.S.ing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Thank you and have a great night.